Hello, America, and welcome back to the Real Music Observer, where me, a real man, observes real music, meaning classic rock, things that sound organic, that aren't produced, that aren't overproduced, and cookie cutter crap from 2016. Yeah, I don't listen to any of it. In fact, I kind of fell off the turnip truck probably somewhere in the mid 90s when grunge really started to get a foothold. But you know what's funny? 20 years later, I'm starting to think that some of the grunge stuff wasn't so bad. But again, are you going to put me in a room with Pearl Jam or with Soundgarden or with Stone Temple Pilots? No, you're not going to do it. Today I want to talk about Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw getting back together again. That's the premise of this video. Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw reunite. Sort of. Okay, so I'm playing a little bait and switch on y'all. Rumor has it that Tommy and Dennis will not be reuniting anytime soon. But I can tell you this much. Dennis DeYoung has a guy in his band by the name of August Zadra. It's a name that really doesn't flow off your tongue. It's not like Tommy Shaw. It's August. It's a month, and we're in the month of August now. So, hey, let's celebrate August by celebrating August. If you haven't seen the live DVD or heard the audio of Dennis DeYoung's performance back 2 years ago in Los Angeles, it's Dennis DeYoung and the Music of Sticks, featuring August Zadra. They don't actually say that. But Dennis actually replaced the other guy he had in his band, and he found a Tommy Shaw dead ringer. And I know, all of you rock purists are like, oh, it's not Styx unless it's Tommy and Dennis together. Don't tell me they just replaced Tommy. Tommy is forever Styx. Get the Bic lighter. Fine. But have you heard this guy Zadra? I mean, the people at the show, you could tell they were like, holy crap, Dennis is having the last laugh. And so you got to hear it. And plus, Dennis has got a guy, I don't know his name because I didn't do that much research, but I'm sure someone will post it on here, who sounds and looks like JY, James Young. So, I mean, the hair, the moppy hair, and just the whole stage presence. Dennis decided to do a little Beatlemania, a little Styx mania mixed with actual Styx, and I think the results are just amazing. Sonically, the album just it's like the lost live Styx album. It's just incredible. And by the way, Dennis DeYoung at 69 years old, and I got his age right because I had to look it up because when I did the Steve Perry video, everybody's like, he's 67. He's not 65. Because I'm just throwing out a number. I don't follow these people to the point where, okay, today is Steve Perry's birthday. Happy birthday, Steve. And put it up. I mean, I'm sure there are some women out there who are just, even today, even though Perry is 67. Dennis DeYoung kind of looks like your high school gym teacher at this point. He's got the curly, tightened hair there, and he's a very skinny guy. He wears suspenders. He does not come off looking like a rock star. In fact, I wish his wife, Suzanne, would kind of put him in a leather jacket or something. Give him a little macho. Give him a little beef. But that was the knock on Dennis. And the knock is that he's not a real rocker. That he's like this crooner, this balladeer, this guy who just, he writes schmaltzy tunes. He's worked with Liza Minnelli. He's got issues. He's maniacal. He tries to take over everything. Guess what? Dennis DeYoung was the main composer over at Styx. He wrote the most iconic songs for the band Styx. And whether you like Mr. Roboto, because a lot of people say, well, that's the demise. That's when they went geek techno on everybody, and Dennis had this grand concept, like he always does. Dennis has like the grand illusion, and Return to, what was that album they were doing? Return to Paradise, Paradise Theater. All of these grand big concepts are from the brain of Dennis DeYoung. And even though at times, especially during that VH1 Behind the Music, where they make Dennis DeYoung look like He's just a fruit basket, and his wife Suzanne, they make her out to be like Yoko Ono, like she's going to break up the band, and because Dennis wanted to have some family time, and they made that into like a big issue. It's not like Dennis wanted to quit. He just wanted it. And this is the crazy thing, that after a while, I was believing that. I'm like, yeah, Dennis is such a problem. I'm glad that Tommy just kept the torch alive. Well, Tommy has Lawrence Gowan in his band, a Canadian singer. And I got to tell you, Lawrence Gowan kind of sucks. He just is. His voice may be on key with these songs, and after 3 or 4 draft beers at the I don't know, we used to call it Great Woods in Mansfield when I used to go there. Now I think it's Comcast, and I think they changed it. If you're at the Comcast Center anywhere in the country, and you hear Styx, the regular Styx, the band that calls themselves Styx now, with Tommy fronting it. I mean, yeah, you come sail away. You'll be like singing along, but you could go to a bar and hear a Styx cover band doing that and get the same result. You hear Dennis DeYoung sing "Come Sail Away," and it's "Come Sail Away." And this guy August Zadra, the guy who's in Dennis DeYoung's band, just killing it. Absolutely. He's Tommy, but younger. He's Tommy, but with more energy. He's Tommy, but with more style. And look, the whole idea of kind of merging Styx with kind of like a Beatlemania concept, or like a moving out concept, if you know the whole Broadway musical thing. And Dennis DeYoung has this kind of background, so he probably said to himself, you know what? If Styx won't come back to me, I'll just recreate Styx. And that's what he did. And it's brilliant, because it sounds... Here's why it's brilliant, because the sound quality of it is just off the charts. If you haven't heard the live album, back in 2014, recorded in Los Angeles, tell you what, this Real Music Observer believes that could be, Dennis DeYoung's finest hour. And I'm a little biased, because I had a chance to talk to Dennis DeYoung when I was programming, or at least doing the music, at Pixie 103 on the Cape, and Cape Cod, that is, and not Cape Coral. That's close to where I live now. But Dennis was this self-deprecating, decent man on the phone, started talking to me. Thing I remember him talking to me about is he and his wife packing up the station wagon and driving somewhere for vacation, and just telling me all this sort of family-oriented stuff, and keeping it real, just being a real human being. And he thanked me profusely, because I think I was one of the only stations in the country to add his song Boom Child. And that's the name of that album from the late 80s. It's not on YouTube. A couple of tracks are uploaded, but I got to tell you, that's a really interesting album. And Boom Child kind of predates the whole "we didn't start the fire" concept that Billy Joel really fleshed out with the actual, names and dates and places and so forth in the song. Dennis does the same thing in the song, and a little more general and a little more philosophical. Again, a grand concept that, if fleshed out with Styx, may have been one of Styx's finest albums. We just will never know that. Dennis made it into a solo album. But I think Dennis DeYoung really is the Paul McCartney of Styx. And it would be nice for Dennis and Tommy, and this happens in all family relationships, by the way, when people have a huge blowout and they just hold that grudge. And both Tommy and JY kind of wrote Dennis out of the band. And then there were lawsuits, and Dennis could say, yes, I'm singing the music of Styx, and Styx could keep the name because that's the brand. And it kind of sucks, because before Tommy was there, it was Dennis. Dennis was there before Tommy. Now, if you look at early Styx, I don't even think Dennis was there at the very, very beginning. I think he joined slightly after the formation of Styx. But point being is that when people hear a Styx song, most of the time it's going to be Dennis singing. Whether you like Babe or not, whether you thought Babe was, they just threw it all away with Babe. Okay, you had Babe, you had Best of Times, and you have Don't Let It End. And people love those songs. They love them. Hey, you know what? I'm a guy, I like a ballad every once in a while. I like to rock out, sure, but ballads bring you closer to the one you're with. If you've got a hot chick with you, you're on a date, you got your wife with you, you can reminisce, you can hug, you can kiss, and it's all good. It's like this is the way life is supposed to be. He wrote this song for his wife, and even Lady is kind of like a very early, I would call it a progressive power ballad. And that's early Styx. That's the kind of stuff that's the song that really gets Styx on the map. And again, who created the song? Dennis DeYoung. Okay? So listen, if you want Dennis to reunite with Tommy, not exactly going to happen. As JY said, probably when the river Styx freezes over. That's when that will all happen. But if you want to see Dennis DeYoung reunited with Tommy Shaw, your best bet is to go see Dennis performing with August Zadra, who sounds like, if not even better, than Tommy Shaw and plays his ass off. And the stage show looks just perfect, looks like a Styx concert. And everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. It'd be nice to see Tommy Shaw and those other guys in the band say, you know what, let's just try to make up and go out on tour maybe one more time. But right now, it might be a moot point because Dennis DeYoung is having the last laugh. My name is Dave. This is the Real Music Observer. We will chat again very soon.